Hello and good afternoon or good morning or whatever time, code fans. Today in Code Along with the Code Whisperer, we're going to begin the next phase of our spooky Halloween days. And in this Code Along, we're going to make an animated CSS bat. Now, everybody loves CSS, so let's get started right into it. Right after I take off this sweater, because it's actually pretty hot in here. I'm actually getting pretty hot. That went smoothly. So let's begin. First, what I want to do this time is I want to write the HTML markup first. So we'll kind of have an idea what the general structure of our bat is going to be. So we'll say here at the top, div, and we'll give it a class of bat. That's going to kind of be the overall container. Now inside that, we're going to have three divs. Div class equals, let's say wing, left wing. And then another one for a wing, right wing. So both of these have the wing class, which is going to be a general wing, but then the left wing, right wing dynamic will let us animate them differently and stuff. And then let's have a div for the bat body. Not too bad. Now let's add a bit of stuff. Let's just take the bat class and just give it a background so we have some idea of what we're working with. We're probably just going to delete this anyways, but I like to see what's going on the screen. Color orange, height 100 pixels, width 100 pixels. So there's our bat. Doesn't look much like a bat yet. Looks almost more like a pumpkin, but oh, we're going to make it a bat. Don't you worry. Don't you worry. All right, let's start with the wings. The wings are going to be a big part of this. So let's actually just change this existing CSS to wing. And we'll make the color black. And we'll make the position absolute. And we'll rotate it 45 degrees, so it's like a diamond. Why doesn't that work? Why doesn't transform ever work like you want it to? Oh well, we'll figure it out in a second. Let's also add a class to the bat and just kind of move it into the middle. Position absolute. Left 50%, top 50%. Cool, there's our wing in the middle of the screen. Now why isn't this transform working? You're probably looking at this and being like, oh, it's so obvious, Dan. You don't know why your wing isn't rotating? Well, let's look at it up. And if you're counting, I've looked up the CSS3 transform property while making Code Along videos about 1 billion times. Transform, rotate 7 degrees. That looks fully right. What's even going on here? Gonna inspect that, press F12, then bring my cursor over this thing. What's the error here? Unknown property name. Oh, I put transform here. Bam. Booyah. So what we're going to want is I want to make 2 white circles to go over these, or sort of over the wing, so it looks like a wing shape, like in a picture of a bat. So how should we do this? Can we automatically add maybe an after? Let's try that. Wing, : after. And then, man, I have no idea if this is even going to work. Let's give it a shot. Background color. Pink. Height 20 pixels. Width 20 pixels. Anything going on here? I don't see the thing we added. Let's see, CSS after property. Okay, maybe I have to have an empty content. No, nothing yet. It seems to be set up here, but it says it's 0, 0. I wonder why. Maybe it needs display block. Yay! There's a little after circle. Okay, so that sounds cool. But we actually need 2 circles for our wing. How is that going to work? CSS double after. So you can't use 2 afters. You can only use an after and a before. And we need 2 circles here. So after might not even work. How could we get the 2 circle shapes? I guess we could just make it 1 circle and have it kind of be a lame looking wing. Let's research this 2 afters a bit more. It says before elements will just cascade. All right, we're going to abandon this after since it doesn't give us quite what we need. And this is just going to make all the CSS invalid. So let's just get rid of this. So inside these wings, we're going to add just divs that we're going to style ourselves. So we'll make a div, and the class will be wing inner. And we'll make 2 of those. So let's define some CSS properties for wing inner. So it will have a height of about half the wing, 50 pixels, width of 50 pixels. We'll give it a background color of white. Do we see it? No, not yet. Display block. Position absolute. Okay, where is our inner wing? All right, it's being hidden under this right wing. Let's just work on 1 wing at a time. Get rid of that, and there we go. So it's a circle. We made a cool V shape, but that's not what we want at all. So let's give this a border radius of 50%. Now make it round. We'll make this a bit bigger, actually. Let's try 75 by 75 or 70 by 70. That looks good. Now let's position it so it's sort of in the corner there of the wing. Let's see, top 50 pixels. Good, and you can see it's kind of moving diagonally. That's because the whole diamond is rotated. Let's say top 70 pixels, or maybe even 100 pixels, and then we'll make it bigger. Not quite. Top 70 pixels. Looks pretty good, and we just want to make it go to the right a bit. Right, 10 pixels. It doesn't look too bad. We're going to end up with this little space in the middle that I don't like. So let's make that left 10 pixels. That should just about work. So now we have the wing inner, and we want 2 wing inners to kind of make the shape of a wing. So we'll say wing inner first. Does that work? Let's see. Select only first CSS element. first child. Could that be the ticket? What's this little squiggly thing? P squiggly thing P. Yeah, it's just confusing. Nth of type. Is that gonna work? Nth of type? That's the craziest thing I've ever seen. All right, so we'll say wing inner nth of type 1. Okay, something happened. So maybe we'll change the right to 50 pix, top to 0 pix. Okay, cool. Yeah, so we have our two circles. They're both doing their thing there. So how do we make this go to the other side? We'll say top 0 pix, left 0 pix. So now it's in the middle. Now let's move it down to the left side. What if we make left 70? Cool. And top 10. Nice. And there we have it. We have ourselves a cool bat using CSS. Let's hide this JS thing. We're not going to need it. So now we have the bat, and now we need a body for the bat. The body is going to be really simple because I want to have plenty of time to animate this before we have to call it a day. So let's make a CSS class for bat body. And how will we do this? Let's just define it as a height of 100, 200, I don't really know, 150 pixels, width 150 pixels, background color is black. Looking good. And border radius of 50%. Now we got a problem here. These white circles are appearing in front of our body, and they shouldn't. As far as I could tell, the bat body should be drawn in front because it comes later in the HTML, but this doesn't seem to work that way. Maybe if we put the bat body before, and we'll give the bat body a position absolute. Still behind the wings. So weird. There we go. So the problem is that if you have something with position absolute, it'll automatically be drawn in front of block elements. When we gave the bat body position absolute, it stopped the layering issue. So that's good. It's a little bit big. I think it would be a fine bat body at 100 pixels, or not too small, 120. Now let's take the left wing and position it appropriately for the bat body. We'll say left wing, position absolute, left minus 50 pixels. Good. Minus 70. 100. Too much. 75. Nice. Looks kind of like half a bat, doesn't it? So we still have to add the other wing, but before that, I want to get our wing flapping animation right, because it's going to kind of depend on the transform point of that wing. So we've got to figure out how to get the wing to transform, to pivot right here where it's set. Now, if we give the left wing, or if we just add a class for wing and just mess around, if we add transform, rotate 50 degrees, or let's say 100 degrees, it rotates kind of along its middle, which isn't going to help us out. I want to organize or rotate around the edge. So let's make a container. We'll make a div and we'll put the wing inside it and we'll call the class wing container. Now, let's apply some transforms to the wing container. We just say wing container, and we'll make the transform equal to rotate 45 degrees. So that once again rotates our thing in the wrong position. But now we can position the wing relative to the container. So it would actually be easier to see what's happening if we already got the animations going. Maybe we should do that. I don't really know. Containers are always really hard. They always really confuse me. So let's just see how easily we can put the animation in. CSS rotate animation. Right, so we'll add an animation to wing. Or no, wing container. The wing container is going to animate. Say animation, and we'll call our animation flap, and it'll happen every 1 second, linearly, and infinitely. Now we got to define our flap animation back to Stack Overflow. So we'll say at keyframes spin. So the keyframes are there, but nothing's happening. Why not? Let's look here for an error. Wing container. It's recognizing our top animation thing. Do we want WebKit animation since this is Chrome? Oh, we need to call this flap, not spin. Oh, and there, look at it go. It's just going crazy. That's awesome. So let's get rid of this default rotate for the wing container. And that'll stop that sort of jaggy kind of jaggedness. And do we need this WebKit animation, or was that just unnecessary? That's unnecessary. We don't need WebKit animation, nor do I assume we need WebKit transform. So that's good. So we're just going to flap back and forth like I'm doing for my arms. So this is how it should be when it's completed. So we'll make the transformation 45 degrees. And we'll also make this same one for 0% because we want to start and end in the same place. And then we'll put one for 50%. That will be, how should that be, 0 degrees? Yeah, cool, look at it go, flappy flap, right? Okay, so now here's the hard part. We need to position the wing inside the wing container so it moves along this kind of central axis. It's actually harder now that it's moving, but we're just gonna do our best shot. So how are we going to do this? This is kind of tricky. Let's get rid of these CSS for the left wing. So it's just kind of positioned in the middle. Now we have to give it a position that will make it kind of in the corner of its container. position absolute. And let's make the wing container. Wing container. We'll just call it wing container and also give it a class of left. And we'll say dot wing container dot left. And now we'll give it its transform relative to the bat body. So we'll say position absolute left -75, just like we had before. And we're probably going to want position to be spelled right for this to work. That doesn't fully work. There we go, and there's pixels. So let's mess around with this left wing position. How about top 50 pixels, left 50 pixels? Not really. Let's try negativing these up. Cool. So now it seems like it's rotating kind of along this corner here by giving it 50 and -50. But now it kind of looks like the right wing. What if we make it 50 and 50? $50 and 150? No. -100. Yeah, great. So it's 50 and then -100 for the either things. Let's just make the style now for the right wing while we still have a chance. Right wing, and then this works the same, but its left should be 50, not 100 pixels. So cool. Now we have this sort of flappy bat thing, bat wing going. Let's just change the positioning of the left wing container so it fits on top of the bat. Let's just get rid of this. And we'll say top is 25 pixels. And you can just see the corner coming out of the left, so let's say left 10 pixels. Nice. So now we have a bat with one flapping wing. That looks pretty cool. Now we need the other wing to appear. We've got a lot of CSS, so let's get rid of all our commented CSS, all the stuff we're not going to need before we put in this right wing. So we'll get rid of this old div that we made for the right wing since we need a lot more markup now. And after the left wing, but before the body, we'll make the right wing. So you can see we got a bit of stuff going here. And should wing container have position absolute? Doesn't seem to make a difference. Because it's almost like that one displaced our body or something. That's pretty weird. So let's make a wing container for the right wing. Wing container dot right. And we'll kind of get the same properties, but we'll make it go to the right. Position absolute, left 100 pixels. Let's try and split them up. Looks like we need different animations for our left and right. So make the wing container left, flap left. And we'll make the wing container right. So we'll give this an animation of flap right, and then we'll define our flap right animation in just a moment. So I think this might just be as simple as changing this from 0 to 90. Yeah, cool. Now they're doing their whole thing, just the whole thing needs to be rotated a little bit. So how about 0, 45, 0? Not quite. Negative 45, negative 90, negative 45. No, still not exactly right. Let's go with 0, negative 45, 0. No, it's just the timing isn't right. I don't like it. Let's copy these frames again from flap left and try it again. It's like when one is going up, the other is going down. That's not what I really like going on here. Let's give this a little rotate, I guess. Rotate negative 10 degrees. Rotate positive 10 degrees. Rotate positive 45 degrees. Cool, so now they're kind of got the same angle going. Now we want to offset the one animation so it starts a second later than the other one. Is that just the last value? CSS animation delay. Cool, so we need an animation delay property to make this delay like we want it. Animation delay, 1 second. 0.5 seconds. Yeah, there we go. So now it's like doing like a flap thing. Now, I didn't get the math exactly right. That wing doesn't really 1,000,000% seem to be in the right place. But, you know, it's a code along, so this is good enough. Let's fix the position of this wing container so it's under the bat. 0 pixels? 15 pixels. Oh, that's the wrong one. That's the left container. Just totally messed that up. That's good. Good for me. Nice. That's pretty close. Maybe 85. Too far. Let's call it 75 and 30. Nice. So that's fine. That looks more or less like a animated bat. All right, so that's good. This has been pretty hefty, but I want to add a few more things. I want our little bat to have eyes, scary eyes, and I also want him to move around on the screen. So we'll just make 2 divs, and we'll call them bat eye. Start with 1 to get the positioning right. So make a new rule here at the bottom for our bat eye. Now, how do we make a CSS half circle? So you make a half circle by combining border radius with no border? Yeah, let's give it a shot. Let's just copy all of this straight up and put it in our bat eye script. That works. So let's just tweak this code that we copied to make it an appropriate bat eye. I actually want it to be pretty small, so we'll make the height, let's go 50 and 25. Now we have to change border left to border bottom. Border bottom. And so we want to make this left and right. Not exactly. And we don't need a solid border. Make the border 1 pixel. This gold color will be fine for the bats. So we need 2 radius patterns, but this is using bottom left and top right, which is weird. So if bottom left and top right were the, or no, let's see, are those even the original? Bottom right and top right. So that makes for a circle with no left. So if we want something with no bottom, we need top left and top right. Border, bottom, border, top left, radius, 100 pixels. Good. Border, top, right radius, 100 pixels. Nice. So that's looking good, but that eye is still a little bit too big. Let's try 30 and 15. Nice, that's a good bat eye. So that looks good, and let's just give it position absolute, top 25 pixels, right 25 pixels. That's not bad. Now let's add another bat eye, but give it a subclass of left. Bat eye left. And for .bat eye .left, it has all the same rules, but we'll make the right 50 pixels. Too little. 80 pixels. Pretty good. Let's call it 70 in a day. Nice, cool. So there we have it. It's the whole bat going. The wings are still not really even. I don't love that, but that's as good as it goes. It's really hard doing the math to get these transforms within transforms right. Once you do, it looks easy, but we did not succeed there today. I'm hoping that in yours it looks a little better. Last but not least, we're going to activate this. We're going to animate the entire bat. So here's our CSS class for bat, and as you can see, it defines a position absolute, and left 50%, top 50%. So we'll give it an animation, and we'll call the animation fly 1 second linear. And we'll say at animation fly. So at 0%, it will have a left of 0%. And at 100%, it will have left of 50%. So fully, this is not working because I made a mistake. So what's the mistake I made? Let's look at our good animation code, 0%. Oh, it's not at animation, it's at keyframes. At keyframes. Haha, look at it go. So now our bat is flying around. Now we want to make it so that he flies kind of back and forth from the left side to the right side. So we'll change this to 50%, and then this one to 25. And then at 0, and at 100%, he'll just move back to 25%. Left 25%. And we want this to repeat infinitely. That's good, and it can be way slower. Now, I guess we don't want it to be linear. We want it to kind of have a kind of motion. Will quadratic work if we just type quadratic? No, that's not supported. Bounce? Let's look it up. CSS animation property linear. What are our options here? We got linear, ease in, ease out. We want ease in out, which is the best looking animation. Cool. So now we've got our CSS bat. Let's change the 50% animation so it goes up a little bit. Nice. So there you have it, a CSS animated bat. It's pretty cool, and I hope you had fun making it. If you can fix the wing up in your version, please tweet at me at the solution so I can fix mine, because it's a good bat, but it's not quite right. I've been the Code Whisperer, and I'll see you next time.